Sponsored by Dennis J. Courtney, M.D., Director of the Courtney Medical Group, located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray, Pennsylvania. For more information or to make an appointment, call 724-942-3002. That's 724-942-3002 for Dennis J. Courtney, M.D.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AM Impact on Your Health. AM Impact on Your Health for every day. Our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AM Impact on Your Health is heard every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney. I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AM Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and where we always ask you to call in to join in when you have a mind to. Today, it's a Friday version of the show. Beautiful weekend, at least start of the weekend for sure, here in the Pittsburgh area. And we're going to let you get them up out of town with us in the fashion you want to send us off, because we're going to let you call up and set the agenda today. I got a couple things on my plate I'd love to discuss with you. One, how to make you a better organic food shopper, especially for produce and vegetables, fruits, and the like, so you don't get cheated, because it's a possibility out there that you just might be attempted, at least, to have been hoodwinked in this regard. So I'll have other things to mention to you, too, talking about up-and-coming events and the like. At any time, you can call up and take command of this show, and we can talk about your issues in the form of a question, if you like, in the form of a comment, if you like. The number to do so, as always, of course, is 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. I enjoyed spending some time the other day with Christopher Moore. God, he writes for so many publications that I know of. Actually, I get to my house, and I just never paid attention to the authors. I'm going to start looking. I'll find them. Pittsburgh connection, very strong. Had some interesting things about those 4 advances he thought could help end heart disease. It'll take some doing on your part to use those advances in your best interest. And we have talked about many of them before. I was feeling pretty good about the discussion. I tend to agree with Christopher Moore on recognizing as advances that really could turn things around with respect to cardiovascular disease. On Monday, going to be here with Dr. Eric Shapira, talking about what are the keys to aging gracefully, how to get the most out of your senior years. Talking about a gerontologist now, who a clinical gerontologist, works with the elderly set of folks as his daily professional diet. New book out, written by him. I like the title, called A New Wrinkle. There's a play on words. A New Wrinkle. What I learned from older people who never acted their age. And he calls this as a guidebook for both parents and children who need to know about the aging process and how to confront those issues of aging. Going to be here with Dr. Shapira on Monday. You don't want to miss it. Dr. Eric Shapira will be here with us. Speaking of things you don't want to miss, this weekend, Lord knows we've made enough of a fuss informing you about it, because I feel very strongly in the ability to get alternative treatments for all areas of pursuit. This one is a highly specialized area, of course, talking about vision and eye care and the like, and it's highly likely, knowing how things work with these 2 or 3 biggies. I guess they're macular degeneration, glaucoma, and cataract formation. These have emerged in our discussions with Dr. Edward Condrat as being the big 3, and there could be many listeners listening to it right now who either have a defect in their vision based on one of those 3, or they know somebody that does. And if they do have that defect, or if they know somebody that's pretty frustrated about how their treatment's going, my guess is. And so conventional treatments, as they come, are conventional treatments, and you get caught in that time warp. You think, well, this is as good as it gets. I really can't do anything else. There's not much more for me. I'll just have to keep going along and just going with the flow. However, my vision responds, well, it responds, and it's as good as I can do. And that absolutely, especially if you listen to this show and this station, you've come to appreciate there's always something that can be done outside of that conventional realm. Now, this is where our good friend Dr. Edward Conrad comes in. He keeps coming on our show, bringing, I hope, that message of hope to those who have those visual disturbances. Well, he's coming to town. He's going to do two things. One, I think he normally arrives on Saturday. I probably won't see them there, but I'll be out there for this kickoff on Sunday morning out at the Pittsburgh Marriott so that he can have his free seminar open to the public. You don't really have to sign up for it. You just have to come if you want. And got to have a nice crowd there last time. I hope that I have something to do with that crowd. I'm hoping I can lure any of you to who wants to learn a little bit more about, well, about what I do, as well as what Dr. Conrad does, in a venue that's a pleasant one. And so I'll see you out there at the Pittsburgh Marriott on Sunday also. And then he claims he's going to have about a 3-hour total seminar. I'm not 3 hours and the plus side of it. I'm part of that 3 hours, where you'll find about he calls it the 10 different activities that you can perform, 10 things that you can do to conserve and restore your vision. That's well worthwhile. And then have all sorts of time to allow you who might have questions. I get a feeling have a lot of questions for him about maybe your own eye disorders and how his treatments may help. Of course, that free seminar is followed up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with his treatment seminar, where 12 individuals now, I don't know if there are any slots left. I will tell you that I'm going to give the office number here in just a second. Get something to write with so that you can write this down. If you have a mind to want to be included in that treatment seminar, you know it, you don't want to miss it, you're going to write this number down when I give it to you. And he's got 12 slots. When he fills them, he fills them. The good news is, though, you might not be sure right now that you want to be involved in that treatment seminar, but if you get your questions answered and if you saw where you might like to take this opportunity, it's going to come around again, because I heard him tell me on the radio show we did with him on Monday that he's coming back in June. Now, you got that piece of paper handy, something to write with? Here's the phone number of the office out in Phoenix. Today's Friday. This is the last day before everybody folds up shop and comes east. But if you want to find out if a treatment slot is open and available, the number, 1-800-430-9328. That's 1-800-430-9328. And, oh, by the way, I will bring with me, I was just thinking, what can I bring that might be helpful to the listening audience that listens to these radio shows? I keep talking about the chips. I'm bringing the chips with me, okay? So I'll make a promise. If you come out there and if you have either a pain issue, I'll place the chip on you myself. If you have a sleep or a energy issue, I'll show you where to place them. I'll let you put them on there just prior to going to bed. Or you need to know where to put the energy chip on, because it's got to go on every day. Anyway, I'll be happy to, for free, let you have an opportunity to try those chips. It's just one of those ways that I can encourage and like to see, if you get benefit, those folks get another option, another way to take care of some what could be to them of very serious medical issues. So, free chips, VCR chips, of course, that we're talking about. We've been now promoting them for well over a month and a half. They should be making their way. You'll be seeing a lot of clinicians wind up with them in their hands, and hopefully with that word being spread out there, you'll be able to get this in other places other than just here. But for now, for sure, I'll be out there on Sunday morning speaking to you for just a bit, about 30 minutes, maybe 40, and then I'll just step outside, and we usually take a little break at that point, and I'll be happy to place that chip on. Fruit of the Spirit, also another reason we have been promoting now for well over a month and a half. Another product brought to us by Deborah Ray. Got an email, and by the way, whoever sent it to me, forget the name, asking me, did Deborah finish her book yet? I don't know. I need to call Deborah to find out. We need to bring her on the show for a couple reasons. Ed, find the update on Fruit of the Spirit as well as the status on her book. I will make that call. We will get her back. And Fruit of the Spirit, 14 biblical fruit purees, along with some herbs, frankincense, and myrrh. Got a little bit of biblical reference to those for sure. Alkaline minerals from the Dead Sea, as well as this Veritol. If you want to try this great tasting stuff, here's a number to do it: 1-800-442-3793. That's 1-800-442-3793. Or just go to, if you're a techie type and want to do it online, fruitspirit.net. Not Fruit of the Spirit, but fruitspirit.net. You can get accomplished there, too. Oh, should mention, if you wanted to go and handle those chips on your own, then you'll need to, there's no 800 number, but there is a website, which is www.drcourtney.ciara.com. Also, too, APB goes out for all diabetics. Foot care, a really important hygienic issue with diabetics. Custom shoes available here. You should come and see a pretty nice display of them, but we'll get Mr. Alan Ridgway to fit you, custom fit you for the shoes. Insurances will cover them, as well as all your diabetic supplies, which you can get delivered right to your door. I know I have a whole host of diabetics in my practice, but those who may be listening out there and like to get that extra attention, especially knowing it's insurance covered, feel free to give us a call and set up an appointment to come on in here. And I think that just about rounds out some of the basic issues I wanted to get to before our first break. So let's do this. Remember, it is Friday. It is the Get 'em Up Out of Town version of the show on Friday, allowing you to set the agenda today. Anything on your mind is okay with me. The number to do that is 412-825-6262, 412-825-6262. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back talking about how you can prevent getting cheated in buying organic. Well, you'll see what I mean in just a minute. Give you some clues and some hints how to make you more an effective consumer. Be back in a moment.
This is Dennis J. Courtney, MD. You become confused about how best to manage your health. It's no wonder. It seems that every time you turn on the television or radio, another expert has yet another suggestion for you to follow that seems to be reasonable enough, but no matter how dutifully you follow the instructions, it just doesn't quite produce the results that you are looking for. If this confusion sounds familiar to you, give us a call at the Center for Complementary Health, where we'll make some sense of the confusion based on a blending of traditional and alternative medicine that we've been perfecting over the last 7 years. We offer metabolic nutrition testing, immune system repair, natural hormone replacement therapy, chelation therapy, cutting-edge allergy correction, and a host of other safe and effective alternative therapies.
Dennis J. Courtney, MD, is located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray. Phone 724-942-3002.
Have you been to the doctor lately? What's the big top of your complaint list? Even if your doctor asks you what you eat, the recommended 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day is a dream in your busy schedule. What if you learned of a product 5 years in a formulation that delivers 5 servings of fruits and minerals in just 1 ounce? That's right, it's Fruit of the Spirit. The blessings of Fruit of the Spirit are now formulated into a delicious whole fruit puree product rich in antioxidants and minerals. Your health is more than just a test result. It's a balance of physical, spiritual, and emotional factors. You work regularly to strengthen your faith. Let Fruit of the Spirit help cover your nutritional needs in a convenient and cost-effective ounce a day.
Yes.
So one call waiting, and I won't leave you for that one call.
Thank you.
Fruit of the Spirit, a blessing for your good health. Fruit of the Spirit, 5 servings of fruits and minerals with no added sugars. That's 1-800-442-3793 for your good health. Call them now, 1-800-442-3793.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard here on KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. We're in that Friday version of the show. We call it the Get 'em Up Out of Town version show. Always looking forward to a great weekend. Hope you are too. And, hey, at least the beginning of this weekend, tomorrow, utterly gorgeous out there. Use it well, use it wisely, and return back to us on Monday. Today we've opened it up to you, allowing you to set the agenda if you got a mind to. 412-825-6262. We'll get you on into the store. I'll listen for your knock at the door, and I'll let you right on in. In the interim, one of our listeners did just that. They're out there right now. Let's bring them aboard. Say good morning, hello, and welcome to you. Hello.
Good morning, Dr. Courtney.
Hi.
Hi. I had a question, but you also mentioned a few minutes ago that Deborah Way is going to be writing a book.
Yeah, she mentioned that too. Yeah.
Is it going to be the one who's, when I guess her husband had passed away, she had said that she's going to write a book about his life? Is that what it's going to be about?
That's what she told us when she was on our show back, oh my God, it's been a few months now. But yeah, she's waded through the volumes of materials that he had accrued, and she knew what every one of those pieces of paper were. I don't know how she'll make some sense out of it, put it in the form of a book, but I'm really waiting to see that book, aren't you?
Yes, yes.
Boy, that'll be, that's #1 bestseller to every listener here for sure, and the pearls that'll be in that book will be unheralded in terms of any other source that I know of where I think I can get on the inside of a guy's brain, 30 years worth of stuff that he accrued. Yes, she's putting a book together. That's what it's going to be on.
Because I know on her website, this was going back quite a few years, she had a nice few pages about, just briefly, about everything, that he had in his life and how, what he went through,
Yeah, she didn't talk about those personal glimpses too much when they were doing their thing together on the air, for sure. They had a little shtick going. It's like an Abbott Costello thing. You remember, they played off of one another so great, where she was the all information, all business, and he was the gruff, scruffy guy. And it just was a great team, but not very much we were let into the personal side. Well, every time I speak with Deborah, and every time she comes on the air, we get another little peek, don't we? The curtain comes up just a bit. I'm dying to see that book, because I got to imagine.
I've learned a lot from her show.
Oh, and we all miss it. She appears at least to be enjoying what she's doing now, doing a lot of writing and involved, and she's really involved with this product through the spirit and put the full force of her reputation behind it. And so you got to think highly of that product if she's willing to do that.
Right. And my question was, and this might be sort of an oxymoron, but I was recently tested, and I was found to be acid. I had the Reams testing done.
Okay.
And a practitioner told me that for the time being, I should stay away from vitamin C, and because of its acidic nature, that it could maybe make the acidity worse. And I thought of you, and I'm thinking, is there such a thing as a non-acidic vitamin C, whether it's corn-derived or non-corn derived?
Oh boy, the vitamin C is ascorbic acid, and it, as an acid, is going to be buffered. Is it going to be increasing someone's pH? I'm going to guess that, because I use pretty high doses of this stuff, I give it intravenously. So if there's anybody that's going to have the potential to swing somebody's pH, it's going to be me. It's going to be a short-lived phenomenon, however. Because the kidney is going to deal with it directly, buffer it. And so I'm going to say that for the hour or 2 or 3 that someone gets IV infusions, that, yeah, I would imagine their pH would swing acidically. But with normally functioning kidneys, that should all be rectified literally on the way out the door. So I wouldn't get too hung up with trying to avoid vitamins.
Yeah, because I thought that the other benefits outweighed the acidity issue, and
for
all bodily processes your body needs vitamin C.
Yeah, I think because it's a short phenomenon, one shouldn't get carried away with looking at the risk versus benefit and coming down on the risk side as opposed to the benefit side. Yes, while you give it intravenously, especially sometimes at the doses that I'm 50,000 milligrams. 75,000. There's some high doses here. Yes, while we're administering it, I am just guessing we're going to have a swing to an acidic pH. But this is going to clear rather rapidly because the vitamin C is
water soluble.
it's absolutely water soluble. It's going to be eliminated by the kidney. But the antioxidant property, which lives on for days, is not an acidic. Here's the best way to answer your question. The benefit side of this, which is the antioxidant side of vitamin C, isn't an acidic phenomenon. It is a phenomenon all into itself. So yes, when you administer ascorbic acid, you take that vitamin C, and it is going to swing pHs, but you're taking it for its antioxidant properties, which are long-lived, well beyond when the pH has swung back now to its normal level, and it hopefully would be alkaline if the rest of the components of your diet and everything else you ingest are right. So I think maybe that's the way I'd like to answer the question. You're taking it for its antioxidant properties. That's a long-lived benefit, and it far outlasts any momentary swings in pH that may result from taking it, especially in the forms that I use it, because I'm using real high doses. Okay?
But as far as an oral supplement, there's no such thing as a non-acidic, or is that the ester?
Yeah, that's right. No. That's still ascorbic acid, and but it's short-lived. It's a short-lived acidic phenomenon. That long-lived antioxidant property is what you're taking it for. Okay?
Right.
Hope I've answered you.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Good question. Made me think there for a moment how I actually wanted to phrase the answer. I think I answered it finally in the way that I want to leave you all with it, which is, now don't be avoiding vitamin C because of a pH issue. Embrace vitamin C. What a great antioxidant property it has, and that's the long-lived component that is not pH related. Okay. Look, we're here with you today, allowing you to, just as the young lady did a second ago, sort of set the agenda. Anything on your mind is okay with me. 412-825-6262. We'll let you on in the store when I hear you knocking at the door. Got a a blurb that came by me, interested me. Big as a proponent as I am of organic foods, but evidently you gotta be careful out there, because, well, I think for sure with respect to the organic growers and the like, I've seen a bit of chicanery going on out there. The intimation that the produce, especially now fruits and vegetables, that they espouse and claim organically grown aren't necessarily so. One of the ways you can make sure of that, by the way, and it's going to be opening up soon, is going to be that Firehouse Farmers Market down there, because everybody that makes it on to that slab of blacktop has already been scrutinized, and everybody there, local growers as they may be, still have met the standards to allow them to sell their wares, so you can trust that. We're going to be talking about, in a moment, I'm going to answer this call, where to take this in terms of the larger places, especially Whole Foods, because an interesting thing developed at one of the Whole Foods stores in Texas that led to this little blurb that I caught, and I'll talk to you about in a moment. However, we do have a caller knocking on the door. Come on in the store. Hello, and welcome in.
How are you?
Great.
Good. I've been listening to you about the vitamin C with the antitoxins, and I have lupus, and I was told not to take anything that enhanced the immune system. So that's what they told me. So I don't know what to do.
Well, you say lupus, of course, is an adrenal disorder, and your immune, it's a what are we going to say? Your body is sort of attacking itself.
Exactly.
Okay, your body's attacking itself, and so the hint here is that, geez, if you develop your immune system, you're going to attack you even more.
I know.
This is, well, but I believe that what you're being told is an absurdity, okay?
Really?
An absurdity. Your immune system, in terms of its ability to defend you, needs to be protected at all costs. Now, it's true that There are some autoimmune. That's the word I was searching for. Oh man, it's tough.
It's early.
It's early.
Okay.
Autoimmune disorders, where your body recognizes various organs as foreign and actually wages an attack against it. Okay, I can appreciate that. But your immune system shouldn't be tampered down. I mean, they use anti-inflammatories,
right?
And I'm sure you're on a whole host of them. I'm sure.
I'm just on, all I'm taking is Motrin, 100, and of course Plaquenil. But I reduced my own prescription on that because it was causing me too many problems with my eyes.
Well, the way you say, of course, Plaquenil, is sort of humorous to me because, of course, because of the conventional treatment of lupus, which uses these literally, very harsh chemicals, you say, of course, Plaquenil. But I go, oh boy.
Well, what else is there for?
Oh, well, wait a minute. I mean, we better be looking at the alternative approaches there could be to that disease, and there certainly are. Just take this on back. Take it back to, do you listen to the show a lot, by the way? Do you
yes.
have? Okay, so I only want you to go back 2 weeks to when Raymond Francis was here. Remember Raymond?
I didn't hear it that bad.
Okay, well, he was here a couple days in a row, but if I tell you, as Raymond told us, that there's only one disease, and so I'm going to repeat, this is sort of like right out of his mouth, there's only one disease, and that's when cells don't function properly. So you just name the zip code, whatever happens to be going on in that zip code, if it's in the adrenal glands or whatever, and the immune system, whatever it is, cells aren't functioning properly. But then he comes in and says, there's only 2 causes for that one disease. Number 1 is deficiency states. You have too little of something that have accrued over the years. And number 2, toxicity states, okay? So when you say, geez, what else would you do? Well, I'll tell you what, the what else is aren't just Plaquenil and Motrin, okay? There has to be, and if there is no, let's put it to you this way. If you don't have a plan that attempts to intercede with your deficiencies, which are many by the time we reach 30 and 40 and 50, all these deficiency states are going to play themselves out. When we're in our teens and our early adulthood, very few symptoms result from our deficiencies, but we're not going to get out of this good earth without having them sort of displayed, and lupus would be one of them. Or if you don't also have in your plan a way to detoxify and get rid of the toxins, you have no chance of ever reversing lupus. So if you keep taking Plaquenil as well as Motrin, because that's the conventional treatment for it, I'll say this much, you'll need to continue taking Plaquenil and Motrin because you have no other chance of reversing this pretty serious problem by taking those things for sure. Those are patches. Thank God we have them. While we're developing our other plans, you need to come on in and see us so we can talk about how to correct those deficiencies and toxicity states in a non-toxic way using natural things, not drugs. And in so doing, you'll reach a point where you'll be able to take less of them and ultimately none of them. Now, wouldn't that be a better way of handling it?
That would be an excellent way of handling
it. Okay.
So what do I do in the meantime?
Right now you keep on taking what you're taking because you don't have a plan, or at least I don't hear one. Okay.
Well, is there anything? For instance, I'm having lupus. You're also anemic, and so I found anemic. So I went on Super B complex, B12, iron, and did this myself. Went back to the doctors. All of a sudden, I'm not anemic anymore. How is that possible?
Well, this is an interesting dilemma because on your own, you felt you needed to take supplements, okay, which helped all your cells, including, I might add, the cells of your immune system. So, dare you? You actually did that? Did you tell your doctor you were taking supplements? He probably would have gone through the roof.
Because he told me no.
Because he would have gone through the roof, yet...
He said you can't because antitoxin.
Because of what?
Especially vitamin C.
Because he referred to it as a toxin?
It's an antitoxin.
An antitoxin?
Yes.
I'm a little confused on how he means the term.
I don't know.
Okay, but
they don't explain things.
Yeah, I know. Look, it's my conventional colleagues don't have an appreciation for these nutrients in the way that
No, they don't.
they don't. And so you can't just quit taking those drugs. I agree. But you need a plan to allow you to transition off of those things at a minimum. And you need to help in putting that plan together. Please come on in and see us so we can help develop that plan for you. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Very good question. And don't worry. You keep on taking that vitamin C and not worry about frying your immune system. You got to handle this in another way, and you need those nutrients. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Doc.
All righty. Okay. Are you surprised that their doctor told her that? I'm not. Here we are on a Friday, getting them up out of town version of the show. 412-825-6262. Yeah, there's only one disease and two ways you get it. And there are 6 pathways, by the way, if you remember the book. 6 pathways. We won't have time to talk about them today, but we'll do that sometime in the future. Well, I'm waiting for you to knock on the door at 412-825-6262. This one caught my attention. Turns out a guy down in, I was going to say Texas. I think it's actually Florida, okay? But his son got some serious medical problems, and so he has turned into a very wise and intelligent shopper, and of course is buying nothing but organic foods for his family, and particularly with his son in mind, but I think they've all converted now. I think that's the way I had to took a bead on how this became the prominent story that it had become. Because he went to a pretty reputable store. I'd call Whole Foods a doggone reputable place that you should be going to if you're looking to eat organic. In Pittsburgh, we know about Whole Foods. We got Right by Nature. We got the East End Co-op, these big 3, okay? And all 3 of them have loads and loads of produce. But what happened was, and this intelligent guy noticed, because if you've been to Whole Foods, they get big signs up, and they go, okay, organic, this is organic, whatever it happens to be. You know, you see a sign that says organic, and then right next to it, you'll see another sign that says conventional. So you're going around deciding between the 2, organic, conventional, based on the signs. Well, this guy was well beyond just the sign stage. And even though he was at Whole Foods, which is a reputable place, he started looking at the other clues. And what it turned out was that he was getting produce, fruits in this particular case, which weren't matching up. It wasn't turning out to be an organic item when it was in the organic pile with the sign that says organic. What had happened here, of course, is somebody had misplaced the sign. Well, you can understand how in a supermarket environment like that, how that even could happen. Somebody just put the sign in the wrong place, or maybe, who knows, a customer coming by switched the signs, maybe it fell over, somebody put it back, because they wouldn't do that on purpose. But for a person who takes these items home and has a child who is really chemically sensitive, because that's the impression I got, these kinds of inadvertent mistakes have some pretty disconcerting and potentially tragic consequences. So look, this led to a blurb talking about how you can be that kind of shopper too, how you can discover the error and not take home the produce, or take home the wrong kind of produce, or in your shopping, how you'll find, if you weren't at a reputable place, like I think Whole Foods, Right by Nature, East End Co-op is. What is it that you do? Well, here are the hints on how you make certain that you don't get hoodwinked either accidentally or on purpose with respect to the organic foods. Always be certain to look for the organic sticker, the USDA sticker. It says organic. It's green, it's white. It's very prominently displayed, and when it's on packaged items, that's what you end up seeing. So if it's something in a box or in a bag or something like that, there'll be that sticker, and the USDA has some pretty stringent requirements. You'll see what some of those are even in a minute. So that's your first hint. Of course, looking at fruits, that are just out there on a big stand. They're not really in a package per se, and so you'll be looking for the sticker because it's not going to be placed on items that are in bulk that are just sitting in a stand like that. So number one, you can, when it comes to produce, look for that sticker, and it will allow you to know that this is organic, and you can trust that. Number two, you need to be looking at what's called the PLU sticker when the things are in bulk, because every piece of fruit or other produce vegetable item that isn't in a bag has to bear that sticker, whether it's conventional or organic. But if it's organic, the number that's on that sticker will always begin with a 9. And if it's conventional, it'll begin with either a 3 or a 4. Now there's a key. And I know we've sort of mentioned that, but we never took the time to tell you that that's the big clue. And that's what allowed the fellow to determine that there were misplaced fruits. And that's why he just didn't read the sign. He looked at the number. You should be looking at the number. Anything organic must bear a 9 on what's called the PLU sticker, or it'll have a 3 or 4 on it if it's conventional. Beware of foreign-grown produce like asparagus from Argentina, for instance, because now when you're talking about something coming from a foreign country, your level of trust has to, your awareness has to go up considerably. Your level of trust really needs to be strengthened to about a 50-50 chance that actually they say you're going to be able to get the thing actually as organically safe for you as it would be if it was grown here following a USDA nomenclature. All right, I hear a knock at the door. We'll just divert a bit from here. Let's welcome the listener in. Come on the store. Hello, welcome aboard.
Good morning, Dr. Courtney.
Hi.
I wanted to ask if you or anyone would have information on the drinking water system, the reverse osmosis, maybe a number that you can call or...
Yeah, there are a couple systems out there. Reverse osmosis is one of the tried and true gold standard. I'm going to tell you the issue with the membranes on the reverse osmosis system, because that's what it is. There's a membrane that actually acts as a final filter and is able to trap any of the impurities out of a water system. They got to be changed. I think it goes with the territory that when you finally get to an RO system, the cleanliness of the system, because the thing just slows down when you hardly get any water purified at all, turns out to be the most cumbersome and laborious issue that you'll have to contend with. Now, I don't know right offhand of any phone numbers I can give you. By the way, listeners out there, you got to keep listening, ma'am, because they'll call, okay?
Okay.
Anybody got a phone number out there to help this lady out with respect to a commercial company dealing with RO systems as well as other systems, too?
I wonder, do you have this yourself or no?
Do I have an RO system in my home? I have a thing that sits on the counter. It's a filter, and it's got batteries with it and things like that, and uses an ozone. It's an ozonator, okay? That's how I've decided that I was going to contend with it, because I didn't want to be cleaning membranes. Yet we know it is a gold standard system, but there are other systems out there that you should be familiarized with too before you make. Because to tell you, the RO systems aren't inexpensive.
Oh, they are?
Oh, they are not inexpensive.
Oh, they're not?
They're not. I don't know. I mean, you got to be looking in for sure, hundreds of dollars. And I'll tell you, when I go to these shows, I find them to be $1,500, $2,000. You getting the idea here?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, you should be made aware of other systems that wouldn't be as costly that will allow you to accomplish the goal. Unless you just.
I wonder maybe there's a website or something where you could.
Oh boy, just you Google it up, and you get the water purification systems. You'll be water purification, okay? And
water purification.
Water purification.
That's it.
You Google that, and you won't have enough time in the next decade to read all that you'll be exposed to. Okay? You'll be an expert in it.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Hey, RO systems aren't cheap, at least the ones I see. I don't know if you know of another system that's relatively inexpensive that's RO. Let me know, because I haven't ever seen one. Anyway, you see what's going on here. 412-825-6262. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a short break? When we come back, see if anybody's dialed us up in the interim, wants to ask a question or make a comment. Got a couple other clues to be giving you to make you a better organic food shopper. I'll share those with you too. It's the Friday Get 'em Up Out of Town version of the show, and we are going to the gun lap. Be right back.
Want to help your family eat healthier? Instead of learning to disguise tofu in wondrous ways, how about some real nutritional power? If your family has the typical American palate for fries, pizza, and burgers, giving your family the blessing of good nutrition is a struggle. Fruit of the Spirit is the answer for your family's nutritional needs. Fruit of the Spirit is an all-natural, whole fruit puree made from fresh fruits native to the Holy Land with alkalizing minerals. Fruit of the Spirit was 5 years in the formulation, the work of a team of top nutritional experts with independent science to confirm its antioxidant power. 1 ounce a day provides the equivalent of 5 servings of fruits and minerals. Fruit of the Spirit is convenient, affordable, and delicious. Even your picky family will sing the praises of Fruit of the Spirit. Give your loved ones the blessing of good nutrition. Call 1-800-442-3793 for a special promotional offer. Fruit of the Spirit, a blessing for your good health. That's 1-800-442-3793. Call them now, 1-800-442-3793.
This is Dennis J. Courtney, MD. You become confused about how best to manage your health. It's no wonder. It seems that every time you turn on the television or radio, another expert has yet another suggestion for you to follow that seems to be reasonable enough, but no matter how dutifully you follow the instructions, it just doesn't quite produce the results that you want.
Okay, we have one person waiting, and I won't beep you for that one call.
Thanks, Barry.
Okay.
Where we'll make some sense of the confusion based on a blending of traditional and alternative medicine that we've been perfecting over the last 7 years. We offer metabolic nutrition testing, immune system repair, natural hormone replacement therapy, chelation therapy, cutting-edge allergy correction, and a host of other safe and effective alternative therapies.
Dennis J. Courtney, MD, is located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray. Phone 724-942-3002.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to AM Impact on Your Health here on this Friday Get 'em Up Out of Town version of the show. We've opened it up to you today, allowing you to come in and set the agenda if you have a mind to. We're appreciative of those who've already taken us up on our offer and really enjoy having each and every one of you participate when you feel like you want to chime on in. In the interim of our little commercial break, we had an additional person that wanted to do just that. Let's bring them in the store and say hello and welcome aboard. Hi.
Hello?
Hi there. Go right ahead.
Can you hear?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
This is about someone that had a dislocated shoulder
Okay.
and tears. It's very bad and complete full thickness tears. It's just really bad. I have a copy of the MRI.
Okay.
And
tears of the ligaments? Do you want
yeah.
ligaments? Okay.
Full thickness tears is retractions, means supraspinous and infraspinous, as well as subscapular tendon. Medial dislocation, tendon, long head, the biceps, seam, suspicion of tear in the occipital.
Pretty good joke. Was that to you, by the way? Are you the person?
It's my brother.
Your brother. Okay.
Not around here, but okay. Now today's going to be seeing about a doc about this, and he had some therapy a few weeks after. This happened early February, and that snow. He fell, and now I'm just wondering what your thoughts are. I mean, is surgery the only thing? Nothing helps. Is surgery the best?
Okay, let's just take that pretty comfortable with the answering your question. Of course, feel really bad that it was such a violent. It must have been really a violent fall. Was it a fall or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's not in pain right now. Apparently.
No. Once you put.
He just can't lift the arm.
That's right. Once you get that thing back in its proper resting place, all the tension comes off of the tendons and the ligaments, and then the pain is a lesser phenomenon. But of course, The use of that extremity in that arm is what's limiting now. Here's the bottom line. Some bottom line items you need to keep in mind. Tendons actually can be torn, and they will ultimately and can repair themselves as long as it's not their insertion onto the bone where the tear occurs. Okay? Do you understand that so far? In other words, tendon rip and tear, they do repair unless it's at the insertion site, whereupon they won't tear. Now, I don't know where this particular tear was or is, but at least as far as the tendons go, that's how you should view them. Ligaments, hey, they're a whole other ballgame because they are what connect bone to bone, and they don't. If they're torn, if they're stretched, they don't come back.
I see.
And consequently, it might require, from a conventional viewpoint, a surgery. I will tell you that if the ligament is only partially torn from its insertion site on either end, one bone to another, something called prolotherapy can be used to cause an irritation at the level of the bone, the ligament interaction point, and that literally will scar down and tighten that thing up. So that's also a possibility, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So between surgery and non-surgical approaches, the ligament will require a different attention than will the tendon. And I don't know the extent. Sounds like it's pretty extensive, but I don't know the full extent. I started to read off of an X-ray report, I think, of what you found. But if his doctor's an orthopedic surgeon, is he?
Yeah, well, yeah, but I don't know how, this same doctor had worked on his foot years ago, but I don't know. It seems to me it's going to require like one of these sports physicians, or one that's familiar with of operation, as opposed to one surgeon that doesn't do a lot of these kinds of
the fact that nobody...
A lot of the skill of the, experience of the surgeon.
Okay. Yeah, ma'am, I think you haven't mentioned that surgery's been recommended. I don't know.
No, that's what he's going to talk about.
All right. If the guy's a surgeon...
He has to decide who and where and so on, and I don't know, and that's going to be the question. I'm also looking here, incomplete tears present at the humeral attachment of inferior glenohumeral ligament.
Well, there you go. So what you haven't have a full, you don't have the ligament fully removed from its insertion site, which would be a complete tear, and would have to be, in that case, it has to be surgically reattached. But with partial tearing, you have these options. I'm going to say that an orthopedic surgeon is going to recommend surgery for any ligament damage that he thinks is causing the joint to be too loose. And I just tell you that prolotherapy is another way to avoid that and get some pretty good results with partial tears. A complete tear is going to have to be surgically reattached.
Yeah.
So listen closely.
Okay.
When you go to your doctor today, are you going to be there with your?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, you're going to have to wait for the information brought back to you. But that's how you can start to wade through it and sift through this these options that are going to be presented. I don't think prolotherapy, if it's going to be coming from an orthopedic surgeon, I don't think prolo is going to be an option that you're given. You need to know that there is another option, that if it's an impartial tear of a ligament, it has another approach that can be taken in order to get the ligament to shorten and to strengthen that does not require surgery. But if it's a full tear, there's only one way, and that is it's got to be surgically reattached. Got that?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Okay.
These are the questions that I think I wish I could have him ask his doc, and what are the alternatives, and I don't even think some of the docs know.
Oh, I don't think they do know either. I'm letting you know that there's other options. So you go to the surgeon, you listen to his recommendation, come on here, I'll give you the other side, you make a decision. But I'm letting you know, if it's fully detached, it will have to be surgically reattached. Your only issue is if the ligament is partially removed from its attachment point. If it's a partial tear, not a full tear, then there are other options to pursue. But let me know if I can help in the near future, okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. 412-825-6262. We're coming around that home stretch and that gun lap, and letting you all know to get on in here before we say sayonara to you in about 5 or 6 minutes. Another knock on the door. Come on in the store. Hello and welcome aboard.
Yes, good morning, Dr. Courtney.
Hi there.
Got a question. To see how Dr. Courtney would handle this one. I went to see my doctor yesterday at the local VA hospital, and he ordered a chest X-ray.
Okay.
So I did what you had mentioned many shows back. I asked about, could they give me a reading on how many rads would I be receiving?
Yes.
The technician said no.
That's right.
And I said, aren't someone here on staff to calculate all the stuff? And they said if I insisted upon that, they could refuse to do my X-ray.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I did the X-ray. I walked back down to the doctor's office down the hall, and I really forgot to ask him, is that true? So if Dr. Courtney had a patient under the same situation, can a technician call you up and say, we're going to refuse the X-ray?
Well, I think I can, and I'm sort of chuckling here. I've got a smile on my face because I've gone up against the radiology departments of a couple of hospitals already, trying to see if I could get radiology documentation to start hitting the charts, okay? Well, when I did this, and I did it at a local hospital, I'm not going to mention their names in order to embarrass them, but I went up against 2 radiologists and the radiological physicist, okay? I didn't understand what the role is for the radiological physicist, but every hospital who has any X-ray machinery has one of these guys that's on the payroll.
That's what I told the guy, yeah.
Yeah, and it's only he. When you want to have a full documentation of how many rads of exposure you had based on that particular picture that you had done of you, the tech would have no clue. Not only the tech, the radiologist, the doctor, the physician, wouldn't have a clue on how to calculate that. The only person that actually could do that is the radiological physicist who could calculate it knowing what the settings were on the machinery that day, and then, a week later he could calculate it and find out what it is. It's that cumbersome. I actually had a physicist that said, we can do that. If a patient came and said that they wanted that done at this hospital, we actually could do it, although it would take some time. So it's possible to calculate it. Now, there's a better way. Because there is to be generalized understanding that every time you get a certain kind of an X-ray, a general amount of radiation is to be expected. In a chest X-ray, I know that's 1 rad, okay? 1 rad. Now, you could have got more than 1 rad that day. You probably could have gotten less, although highly unlikely. They usually turn the dials up pretty far here. But you need to run your own count in the amount, okay? You're not going to get great help with the radiology departments, but for a chest X-ray, that's 1 rad. Give you another idea. Mammography. When a woman gets a mammogram, she gets a superior to inferior shot of a breast and an outside to an inside shot. 1 rad apiece, 2 rads aside, 4 rads total every time she ever gets a mammogram. Well, keep on adding up your rads, okay? And it's clear then that the Goffman comment now becomes operational, because Goffman said 50% of all cancers are due to medical X-rays, and then he said that it only takes a lifetime exposure of between 4 and 20 rads to reach the threshold to provoke a cancer. You now have some information behind you that lets you be very scrutinizing as to whether or not you're going to allow X-rays, okay?
So there's a chart out there, like say if I'm going to have a pelvic X-ray, they can tell me you could expect to get... There
is a general amount understood, and anticipated amount of X-ray exposure. It could be calculated to be accurate, but only the physicist can do it. The tech sure can't. It's a surprise to me the radiologist couldn't. It took a physicist, and every hospital has a physicist on staff. That was a very rude awakening for me to know that a physicist was involved and has to come around every month or so to calibrate this equipment and to know that the amount of X-ray exposure is within certain tolerances. It's only the physicist that can do that. So now, I think you know the rest of the story, right?
So they can actually deny doing an X-ray?
Well, if you insisted, as you could, like at the hospital where I think I got an agreement with the guy, yes, we can calculate it. Well, that has to be prearranged. So if you called up and said, I'm going to have an X-ray, I would like to get the exact amount of X-ray exposure, you'll need to make a request to your physicist. He would know what to do. You caught him by such surprise that he didn't have a clue what to do, so he just figured, this guy's trouble. I'm just going to refuse to do the X-ray. But if you do it in the way that I told you can do it, the physicist can calculate it, okay?
Oh, yeah, they told me even if I went out to the public hospitals, I'd be refused too, or could be refused.
No, but if you prearrange,
okay,
have the physicist informed, it can be calculated, and at least in the one case where I was sitting in a room with two radiologists and a physicist, I had an agreement that if someone asked, they would calculate it. Now that means they got to be forewarned because they got to know what the dials were turned at on the day and at the moment you got your study done. And with those dials, because there are a few dials that can be twisted, that would allow the physicist to make the mathematical calculation. Okay?
all right, thank you.
Okay. Great question. I would love to have been a fly on the wall when he asked the tech to do that. Hey, there are bongos in the background. Look, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your weekend. Maybe see you out there on Sunday morning. Don't forget, 10 o'clock, the Montour the Marriott Airport at the Montour Run exit. See you at that point if you're going to Montour. I'll bring the chips with me. Until then, this is Dr. Dennis Courtney saying so long for AM Impact on Your Health.